around 8 years old, you would see that these streets here were very deserted because, you know, the abandoned buildings, then the garbage, and just no one around.
East New York lost 40% of its population and housing stock in the late 1960s and early 70s.
Blocks and blocks of empty homes, half torn down, fires that go on night after night, etc.
Arson for profit by people who had insurance policies and stuff. Arson for vengeance by people who didn't like their neighbor, or arson for fun. I buried people from this church who died in those fires. I had a woman 3 blocks from here who was bound and gagged, raped, and then her house was set on fire on top of her. And she burned and was alive for 2 months in the Cornell Burn Center. Okay, I saw somebody who had been to hell on earth. I was not giving up on that woman. I was not giving up on that. I was not going to allow that death to overcome life.
The situation in East Brooklyn forced families and businesses to leave their neighborhoods. Hope seemed lost. But church leaders refused to believe the neighborhood was lost. They crossed denominational lines to work on a vision of community development. It came in the form of the Nehemiah Housing Project, named for the Bible's Nehemiah and his efforts to resurrect Jerusalem.
When we started building, I remember some of the newspaper people would ask, why are the churches doing this? And I remember saying to them is that we are people of the resurrection faith, and therefore the best place for resurrection is a cemetery.
Yeah, they were reluctant at the very beginning, all the denominations, to put out money because there was nothing there. They were living on trust, and our guarantee was saying, hey, we will rebuild a congregation in that area as a result of putting up these Nehemiah homes.
Affordable, single-family, owner-occupied row houses was what we wanted to build at a price that would allow that purchaser to live in it for roughly the price they were paying for rent before, with a reasonable down payment of basically the price of a used car. As we assembled the pool of loan money from the Missouri Synod, the Roman Catholic Diocese, and the Episcopal Church, we were not sure whether we would be able to pre-sell all of these homes. We soon found out that there were 15,000 families waiting for these homes to be built. There was a huge waiting list of people saying, please let me in on this dream.
The pool of money provided buying power, allowing housing construction products to be purchased in bulk. That allowed multiple houses to be built cost-effectively.
It's one thing to build luxury housing for a lot of money. It's much more difficult to build very, very affordable housing. If we have a project that has a large number of units, due to the repetitiveness, we can achieve levels of productivity that are higher than we can get in the field, along with that quality.
Business partnerships were key to the Nehemiah project, as was the support of community leaders and politicians. They saw tremendous value in saving the neighborhood and Nehemiah's ongoing community development. The churches worked with politicians and community leaders like Mayor Koch and Ivy Robbins.
We were able to galvanize our community and say, this can be done, let's do it. When we did it, everybody else felt that they could do it also.
Some 900 miles away from East Brooklyn, the College Hill neighborhood in St. Louis has similar community development needs. 75% of the homes in this neighborhood are abandoned. Some of those burned to the ground.
When I was younger and at home, it was really a beautiful neighborhood. It had beautiful homes in it. But when I came back after an absence of maybe about 20-something years, I was shocked at the condition of the neighborhood.
The sense of community is gone because we have people that are moving away because of our crime rate, because of our low property value. our high homeowners insurance, our large numbers of vacant buildings and vacant lots.
We got drug dealers, don't even live here. They come in the neighborhood, set up camp, and it's a nuisance. We run them away, we call the police never show up.
Like Nehemiah in New York, the churches in College Hill are leading the area's rebirth. Members of the historic St. Paul Lutheran Church recognize that their church's past was uniquely intertwined in the College Hill neighborhood, and they know their future is here too.
You know, we've lost a lot of our membership over the years, and the people that are here were very tight and we're a very close-knit group. There are some things that go back to 1857, and St. Paul's was always a blue-collar church. So as our membership declined and we just hung on and hung on and hung on, we looked around and figured we're going to have to do something to increase our membership if we want to remain viable. And we want to stay here in the neighborhood because it's important to us that there be a place in this neighborhood to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Longtime residents believe College Hill is still vital and can make a comeback.
My husband and I were both active duty military, so we have lived all across the country, but we chose to come back here because this is a great neighborhood and there is opportunity here. We're within 10 minutes from the airport, 5 minutes from downtown. We're actually sitting on prime territory. The ground that we're standing on is worth a lot more money than our neighborhood really realizes.
We have one of the, if not the lowest property values in the city of St. Louis. Here in our ward, we have the largest numbers of vacant buildings and vacant lots in our community. And a lot of people think that my fight is personal, but it's business because this is the community that I know it. I'm not going anywhere.
In the summer of 2007, the neighbors came together to plan what they wanted for College Hill. The meeting was organized by Lutheran Housing Support, a visionary organization committed to revitalizing communities throughout the world. The organization sends specialists to help the community organize, but while the Lutheran Housing Support assists an organization, it's clear the campaign for College Hill belongs to those who live there.
Resident leadership development is key to neighborhood revitalization. We help identify, recruit, and train a new generation of leadership. And that's how we're going to see the campaign for College Hill become a success in St. Louis.
The area was divided into 10 sects, with 2 leaders from each sect leading the charge. At this meeting, residents mapped out a plan for their future.
They want to see, new businesses come back, to this community. They want to see it grow. They want to see crime out of here.
My dream is to see it rebuilt with single-family homes that fit in with the architectural style that's currently here.
The project has grown beyond the College Hill neighborhood. The vision is reaching some of St. Louis's suburbs that are more affluent.
Actually, up until a few years ago, I was a person that when you looked at the city of St. Louis, it was a place you tried to avoid. It presented fear to me, and I had a very, very negative opinion of what was going on in the city. And I was given an opportunity to see what actually is occurring. It was very much of an awakening for myself. I have been given an opportunity to see God at work.
Gail Olson took her vision back to the members of her suburban St. John Lutheran Church. The church has committed more than $30,000 in supplies and money to the College Hill neighborhood, and she's tapping into other resources too.
We have begun a women's giving circle, and we are gathering hundreds of women together. Each woman will donate $1,000, and all of the money that is gathered will go into the College Hill neighborhood in some way, shape, or form.
Investing in College Hill can bring this vital part of St. Louis back to life. Community organizing and funding is critical to this community development. It's community development with a proven track record, as we've seen from the Nehemiah project.
When we borrowed that money, it was borrowed, and all that money was repaid, and in many cases with interest. The interest that was made on that money while it was sitting, waiting to be used, gained interest. So it wasn't a handout by any. It was, it was just using, as he said, money for a while and then giving it back.
Rebirth is evident in East Brooklyn. 3,000 new homes have been built since Nehemiah began, and another 1,000 are planned. There's pride, there's community, there's hope.
I'm overwhelmed when it comes to speaking about being here and living in a Nehemiah home, and just the blessing that it has been, and to see people that I have grown up with, that are here, and people that I have grown up with that are not here, They can be either incarcerated or deceased. What a different life it can bring to you when you're in your own home and, everyone is focused.
As a Christian, I cannot help but love my neighbor. I think many well-meaning families, individuals who live outside of challenged neighborhoods would prefer, because the situation is complex, they would prefer to forget about it, wash their hands of it, and think it'll go away. But the reality is, an investment which brings home ownership to people in need, which trains people for home ownership, which gives people pride, which gives people a future, which gives people a plan for their families, a stake in life. That is absolutely, I believe, a Christian responsibility, the responsibility of a Christian citizen, and is beyond that simply a civic good that should and ought interest every person in a community.
Finally, thank God, our own home.